Hey my friends, Rare Aesthetic, where I'm showing you the Discord chat where we basically talk about the HE and discuss the future of the token and where it's currently headed. So we always have quite lively conversations in here. Some are more constructive and some are a bit less constructive, but nevertheless I always I appreciate the messages here. I think I read about 99% of everything that's being written here. Um, Basically, we talked about the accounts being banned, the multi accounts that were way beyond the 5 accounts per player. Those have been tracked and banned. That were a couple hundred accounts, I think almost 1,000. So that was definitely a good news, since that was basically draining HE from the game. And yeah, basically we were discussing whether that's a good thing or not, or whether it has a big impact or not. And I saw a message in here. Let me just read. Yeah, okay. Basically, earlier we had a lot of discussion here, and people were talking about the SLP and HE comparison, and I read that a lot here. It's not against this guy here. It's just in general. Basically, people compare the SLP to the HE token, which is a completely fair comparison. But in general, we always have to keep in mind that SLP is a token that's only earned to be sold, or only earned to be used for breeding. There's nothing else, at least currently, that you can do with SLP. There's no in-game upgrade that you can do. You can't level your axes with SLP. You can't get any accessories or anything other than breeding and selling it to the market for other players to buy. So, and even for breeding, you don't just need SLP, you need AXS as well. So if things were to go bad and there would be trillions of SLP in the market, then the SLP price would be almost zero, and the AXS would make up the whole price of the Axie that's about to breed. So and people have been comparing that to HE, and I don't quite think that's a fitting comparison, since HE isn't just a token that you earn in the game, it's also the government's token, meaning you don't just earn it to sell it, you also earn it to use it in the game. And by earning it, by having some HE, in the future you're supposed to rule over the metaverse and basically have your own decisions and your own influence over the game and the future game evolvement. So basically, it's going to serve as a lot more than just a farmable token that's supposed to be sold only. And I tried putting that information into a bigger comment, so I'm just keeping it simple by telling you just the quintessence of this comment. So basically, SLP doesn't really have a limit, right? SLP, that's the farmable token in Axie Infinity. Basically, they could let you earn 1,000,000 SLP a day. It wouldn't really change anything at all. It's being created from nothing, and it's not really worth anything. There's no intrinsic value. It's only worth what other people pay for it, and it's the same for any other token as well, right? But basically, the less functions you have, and the more token there are possibly outside in the market, the less it's going to be worth. So this is an inflationary token, since SLP will always be, there'll always be more SLP in the market. There's a huge amount of SLP minted, and a quite small amount burned in comparison. So in theory, there could be trillions of SLP at some point. So and once that happens, it's obviously not going to be worth much. So it's very unlikely for SLP to hit a huge amount of euros or dollars before the game doesn't go through major changes. But for HE, there's a pretty big difference, and that's because you can actually use it for more than just breeding. First of all, you can summon heroes, which is like the equivalent in Heroes of and Empires of breeding, but you don't need HE and AXS. You need only HE. Like there's just HE. There's no super mega governance token that you need as well, and that's going to make HE more valuable than SLP to begin with. Of course, it's going to be less valuable than AXS to begin with as well. It's going to be somewhere in between, but nevertheless, it's not ever going to be as worthless as SLP, at least on paper. So basically, the biggest difference between SLP and HE is that HE has a hard cap, right? So there's 1 billion token, and this 1 billion token won't be possessed by just players. They are going to be the team. They have a decent amount of HE. Then there are advisors who possess a decent amount of HE. Then there's going to be marketing, which will consume a huge amount of HE. And then there'll be rewards, which are also HE. And of course, there'll be staking rewards as well. And all these are making up the pool. If we just count in the floating HE and the HE that's going to be distributed at some point, then that's only going to be like 30% maybe. I think it's not even 30%. So that's maybe 300 million. Wait, let me just look at the white paper. I think they talked about this actually. So I always want to make sure to give you the newest information. Yeah, but their website is really not too great to find articles that have been posted prior to what's going on right now, so I really dislike their website. Yeah, I can't seem to find it right now. Let me just see if I can actually see it here, because sometimes I've seen it being posted in here in the past. So maybe we can find it, or maybe in the HE token. Okay, never mind. Anyway, forget what I said. Basically, only I need to know is that not all of the HE will be accessible to the public. It's just going to be a part of it. So let's say, even if it would be half of it, like 500 million, then you have to divide the 500 million by the players. So even if it's just 100,000 players, and we are already close to that, as you can see in the Discord, we're already at 82,000 members, and I think currently there are like 70,000 active token holders. So there isn't that much token per user, right? There isn't that much. So if it's 500 million, it's only going to be like 5,000 token per player. I mean, of course, that sounds like a huge amount for some players who just started out, or for people who have very low budget teams. But if you really think about it, 5,000 token, I've seen some people investing like tens of thousands of token into the game, and I think the number one player already had like 15 or 20,000 token used in the game to get that current team. So there's really a lot going into the game, and there's not that much that's already been minted, right? So at some point people are going to need HE for their upgrades, or if they want to stake it, or maybe they need it to get VIP rewards, right? So what if the game suddenly says, okay, we're going to include VIP rewards where you get additional rewards when you stake token. Let's say if you stake 100 token, you get like one more elixir per week, or if you stake like 1000 token, you get like one more arena try a day, or if you stake 5000 token, you get two more free arena tries per day and two elixirs, or maybe you get additional HE from dailies, or you get more rare shards, more epic shards. Like there can be so many variations that the game could make you stake some HE, or at least gather some HE. If that's done, if every player would need like a couple thousand or a couple hundred HE, then the the supply will run very low, and that's not exactly a bad thing. It's pretty much the opposite for most of the holders, since the supply is running low and there are not much people willing to sell the token. Then the token price naturally will rise to, or it may actually skyrocket, and once it skyrockets, then there'll be more people willing to sell, and then it's going to pretty much balance out at some point. And the more people find the game, if there's like 1 million users or 2 million users, then at some point there are only going to be a few hundred token per user. And right now, like one team is pretty much 500 to 1000 token, right? So in the future you'll be able to get them with BNB, but if you really need this for upgrading heroes in game, or if you need it to continue playing, then there's a huge demand for this. Or if you have the staking reasons, but there won't be too many people willing to sell, since right now there are many people willing to sell, because people think once the marketplace system is switched to BNB, then there won't be any usage of HE other than ascending or upgrading your heroes, and if you already did that, then there's no reason to keep it, right? So people have thought about selling, and the HE price actually had to tank a lot prior to a pretty important information that pretty much just got released. And I really just wrote this comment and told about the staking once it's released, and there was like 1 p.m. and just shortly after I saw the notification, like 1 hour afterwards, I saw the notification telling that HE staking will be available at 11th of January, which is a lot faster than I expected. I was waiting for the audit to finish, and I think it was supposed to be a bit later actually, so I was really happy to see this. So really nice to see that people actually can undercut their expectations, since it had to take a bit longer due to the pandemic outcome. So everything had to go a bit later. So even though it was usually planned for December, so now that's even better, right? 11th of January. That isn't really far away. It's not even a week. It's going to be on Tuesday, and I'm really looking forward to that, since they already spoke about APR. So it's probably means that we'll be getting some nice percentage returns, which is very nice for me. I really like that idea, and I'm really hoping that there'll be some in-game rewards as well. I already know that there's going to be a VIP system, which means the more HE you spend in the game, the higher your VIP rewards will be, meaning you'll get the rewards we talked about before, but it's going to be depending on how much HE you spend. So everything's clearing up right now. I'm really looking forward to how high the APR is going to be. I hope it's not going to be too high, not too low. Should be a nice, decent APR that lets you stake and keep your token maybe locked even. That would be even better, to lock your token, so you don't really have to worry about it. Just keep it locked for like half a year, or just a couple months, and then just check it after a long while, and then either be glad or be sad. But I think it's very toxic for the game to always be worrying about the price. I see so many people thudding in the comments and the game discussion. That's not exactly bad. I always love to just discuss things out, to talk about stuff, since sometimes there are things that you overlook when you're caught in your own bubble. And in here I pretty much feel there's a bit of everything. There's some investors who've been in the market for quite a while, and there are people who are very new to the market as well. So I'm always nice to hear some opinions, and I'm always happy to talk. So as always, just let's comment. Let's talk in the comment section and see how this plays out. I'm really looking forward to that. I actually thought about buying some more HE, but I already got so many tokens, so I have to think about that. Probably not quite fitting in my budget considering how much I paid into this already. But I should be able to scrape a couple thousand HE from my 3 accounts that I'm playing. So yeah, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. Really enjoying where this goes, especially with all the other changes. And it's great that they look into this as well. So really looking forward to this. Great changes, great week for HE. Goodbye.